Karina baby, for the 21st, we're doing a sunny spell. Did you know that on the first day of summer, fairies take a vacation? Well, they do. The good fairy, Florence, was going to the seaside. She packed her swimsuit, gave her wand a twirl, and ping, off she went. Florence landed in the beach with a bump. It was a hot, sunny day. So she went for a swim in the sea. Florence was floating on her back when she saw a tiny black cloud. It was right over the place where she was swimming. Then she felt a drop of rain and another. Thought Florence, how odd. It was the wicked witch, Grizzle, up to her no-good tricks again. The fairies called her Grumpy Grizzly because she was always in a bad mood. And now, Grizzly was trying to spoil Florence's vacation by making it rain. Florence ran and got her wand. She gave it a couple of twirls and said some magic words. Rain, rain, go away, I want a hot and sunny day. In a twinkle, the starburst of rain cloud vanished, and there was a clear blue sky. I hope my sunny spell will last, said Florence, and I'm happy to tell you that it did. Oh, poor Grizzle. She was not content in her situations, no matter what they are. Baby, always be in the moment that you're in. Your life is never going to be perfect. So if you're at the beach, be in that moment at the beach. If you're at a water park, be in that moment at the water park. If you're at home and you're playing with your toys, be in that moment with you and your toys. If you are reading a book, be in that moment with you and your book. The world is going to fall apart around you, but as long as you stay content in your own moments and stay present with where you are in that moment, your life isn't going to be perfect, and your life isn't going to be easy, and your life isn't going to be fair. Life isn't fair. It will never be fair. You think you go through one hardship after another hardship after another hardship and it'll eventually get easier? Your heart's going to break, baby, and that's just what life is. But you will get through it if you can stay content in your situation. Don't be like Grizzly. Don't be like her. Don't be like, oh, up to her no good tricks again. If people up to no good tricks around you, don't deal in lies. Don't deal with it. Just keep moving forward in your own path. You have enough that you're going to be dealing with. Trust me, baby. Keep moving forward. Be content in your situation. Love yourself and who you are. You're absolutely beautiful. You hit the genetic lottery just like Mama did. You are physically gorgeous, but your heart is really where it counts. Keep your heart pure and good. No matter what's going on around you, keep your own self good. All right, so the next one is the Pied Piper of Hamelin. Let's see what this one's about. Hamelin's towns in Berwick by famous Hanover City. The river Wester, deep and wide, washes the walls on the southern side. A pleasant spot you never spade, but when it begins, my ditty, almost 500 years ago, to see the town folks suffer, so from a vermin was a pity, rats. They fought the dogs and killed the cats and bit the babies in the cradles and ate the cheese out of the vats and licked the soup from the cook's own ladles. Split open the kegs of salty spades, made nests inside men's sunny hats, and even spoiled the women's chats by drowning their speakings with sparklings and squeakings in 50 different sharps and flats. At last the people in the body to the town hall came flocking. 'Tis clear, cried they, our mayor's a naughty. And as for our compraction shocking, to think that we buy gowns lined with ermine For doubts that can't or won't determine what best to rid us of our vermin, you hope because you're old and obese to find in the fiery civic robe ease. Rose up, sirs, give your brain a racking to find a remedy we're lacking. Oh, sure as fate will send you packing. At this the mayor and corporation quacked with a mighty constaction. An hour they sat in council at length, and mayor broke silence. For a glider eyed my emerging grown cell. I wish I were a mile hence. It's easy to bid one rack one's brains. I sure my poor head aches again. I've scratched it so, and all in vain. On for the trap, a trap, a trap. Just as he said this, what should hap at the chamber door but a gentle tap? Bless up, cried the mayor, what's that? With a correspondence as he sat, looking little though wondrous fat, nor brighter with his eyes, no moister than a too-longed open oyster, save with at noon he patch grow mountainous for the plate of turtle green and gluttonous. Only a scrapping of shoes on the man, anything like the sound of a rat, makes my heart go a pit-a-pat. Come in, the mayor cried, looking bigger, and in did come the stranger figure, his queer long coat from head to heel, with half a yellow and half a red. Oh, some of this is in Old English. It's hard. Old English is hard for Mama. I don't know why it's so hard for me, but it is. I'm just not used to it. So there's the cradle and the baby crying because the rats are making the baby cry. They're nibbling on the poor baby. Oh, does this keep going? Okay. And he himself was tall and thin, with sharp blue eyes, each like a pin, and light loose hair, yet swaggly skin, and turfed a cheek, nor bread nor chin. But his lips were smiles, went out and in, and was no guessing his kith and kin, and nobody could enough admire the tall man and his quite attire. Quoth one, it as my guest gestured, standing up in the trump of Doomstone. He walked this way from the painted tombstone. He advanced in the council table, and place your harness, said he, I am able, but means of a secret charm to draw all creatures living beneath the sun, that crept or swam or fly or run after me, so as you never saw, and I chiefly use my charm on character that do people harm, the mole, the toad, and newt, and vapor. And people call me the Pied Piper. And here they notice round his cheek a scarf of red and yellow streak, to match with his coat of the self-same queef, and at the scarf and hung a pipe, and at his fingers they noticed wherever staring, as if important to be playing upon the pipe, and lo, it dangled over the vestibule, so old-fashioned, yet, said he, poor piper as I am, in Tartary I freed the cham last June from his huge swarms of gnats. I ease in Asia the nems on the monstrous brood of viper bats. Oh, he's saying how he get rid of them. There's the Pied Piper. And as far what your brain bewilders, if I can rid your town of rats, will you give me 1,000 guilders? 150,000 with an exclamation of the astonished mayor and coordination. Into the streets the piper swept, smiling first a little smile as if he knew the magic slept in his quiet pipe the while, then like a musical adapt to blow the pipe his lips he wrinkled, and the green and blue his strap eyes twinkled like a candle flame where salt in sprinkled. And ere 3 shrills notes the pipe on tendered, you heard as if an army muttered. And the muttering grew, and the grumbling grew into the mighty rumbling, and out of the house the rats came tumbling. Great rats, small rats, lean rats, burly rats, brown rats, black rats, gray rats, 20 laps. Gave old paddler, gray young frolics, fathers, mothers, uncles, cousins, cocktails, pinkling whiskers, families by tens and dozens, brothers and sisters, husbands and wives, followed the piper for their lives. From street to street the piper advancing, and step by step they followed dancing, until they came to a river visver. Within all plunged and perished, save one who, stout as Julius Caesar, swam across and lived to carry, as the manuscript he cherished, to Ratland home his ceremony, which was at first shrill notes of the Pied Piper. He heard a sound of the scrumbling tribe, and putting apples wounded ripe into the cedar pressed gripe, and a moving away to the pickle tub rounds, and a leaving a jar of consumed cupboards, and a drowning of the corks of train oil flocks, and a breaking and the hoops of butter casks, and it seems as if a voice, sweeter than by harp or by planty, is breatheth, called out, O rats, rejoice. The world is grown to one vast dry salty. To munch on, crunch on, take your nutch on, breakfast, supper, dinner, lunch on. And just the bulky sugar portions, already starving, like a great sun shone, glorious scores an inch before me, just as the method it said, come bore me. I figure was Wesser rolling over me. You should have heard the Harpland people ringing the bells till they rocked the steeples. Go, cried the mayor, and get long poles, poke out the nests, and block up the holes. Consult your carpenter and builders, and leave in our town not ever a trace of the rats. When suddenly up the face of the Pied Piper perked in the marketplace, with a first, if you please, my 1,000 guillards. 1,000 guillards! The mayor looked blue. So did the contenders too. For council's dinner made rare havoc with clerics von D. Grave Huck, and half the money would replenish the cellar's biggest butter and Hennish, to pay the sum of the wandering fellow with a gypsy coat of red and yellow. Besides quite the mayor's, with a knowing wink, our business was done at the river brink. We saw with our eyes the vermin sink, and what's dead cannot come to life, I think. So, friend, we're not the folks to shriek for the duty of giving you something to drink, and a matter of money to put your poke. But as for the Gilliards, with which we spoke of them, as you very well know, was in joke. Besides, our losses have made us thrifty. 1,000 Gilliards, come take 50. The pied-paper's face fell, and he cried, "No, Tuppence, I can't wait beside. I'm promised to visit by dinner-time Bagdad, and acted the prime of the havoc cork pottage. All he's rich in, for having left the chaplain's kitchen. Of the nest of scorpions, no survivor. With him I provide no begging diver. And you don't think I've bait a staver, and folks who put me in a passion may find my pipe to another fashion." "How," cried the mayor, "d'ye think I'll brook being worse treated than a cook, insulted by a lazy rhubarb, and the idle piper, a Vester piebald? You threaten us, fellow. Do your worst. Blow your pipe till you burst." Once more he struts into the streets, with his lips again laid upon his long pipe of smooth, straight cane, and ere he blew 3 notes, so sweet, soft notes, as yet music cunning never gave the enraptured air, that was a rustling and seemed like a bustling of merry crowds justling and pitching the hustling. Small feet were pattering, wooden shoes clattering, little hands crumbling, and little tongues chattering. And the little fools of the farmyard went barely in searching. Who out came the children running, all the boys and the girls, with rosy cheeks and flexing curls, and sparkling eyes and teeth like pearls. Okay, let's take a look at these photos. Okay, there's the pied paper, blowing his notes to get rid of the rats who are stealing the food. All right, and there he is. There's the mouse running in circles. Let's see what happens on the next page. Tripping and skipping, run merrily after the wonderful music, with shouting and laughter. The mayor was dumb, and the council stood as if they were changing into blocks of wood, until to move a step or cry to the children merrily skipping by, and could only follow with an eye the joyous crowd at the piper's back. But how? The mayor was on a rack, and the wretched councillor lost some beat, as the piper turned from High Street to where the Weser rivers into waters, right in the way to their sons and daughters. However, he turned from south to west, and Kilbert Hill his step addressed, and after him the children pressed. Great was the joy in every breast. He never could cross that mighty top. He forced let the piper drop. And we shall see our children stop, when as they reached the mountain side, the wondrous portal opened wide, as if a cavern was suddenly holed, and the piper advanced, and the children followed. And when all were in the vast last, the door into the mountain shut fast. Did I say all? No, one was lame, and could not dance the whole of the way. And if after years, if you would blame his sadness, he was used to say, "It's dull in our town since my playmates left. I cannot forget that I'm bereft of all the pleasant sights they see, which the piper also promised me. For he led us, he said, to the joyous land, joining the town, and just at hand, where the waters gushed and the fruit trees grew, and the flowers put forth a fairer hue. Alright, so there's the Pied Piper, and the children are dancing in the streets with him. And everything was strange and new. The sorrows and the brighter, the peacocks here, and their dogs outran the fellow deer, and the honeybees had last their stings, and the horses were born with eagle's wings, and just as I became assured my lamb foot would be speedily cured, the music stopped, and I stood still, and found myself outside the hill, left alone against my will, to go now limping as before, and never hear of that country more. Alas, alas for Hamelin! Here came into many a burgher's plate a text which says that heaven's gate opens rich at the ease rate, at the needle's eye takes a camel in. The mayor sent east, west, north, and south to offer the piper by word of mouth whatever it was lot to find him, silver and gold his heart's content, if he'd only return the way he went, and bring the children all behind him. But when they saw 'twas a lost endeavor, the piper and the dancers were gone forever, they made a decree that lawyers now should think their records dated duly, if after the day of the month and year those words did not as well appear, and so long after what happened here on the 22nd of July, 3076, and the better in memory to fix. The place of the children last retreat, they called it the Pied Piper Street, where any one playing a pipe or totter was sure from the future to lose his lauber. Not suffered they horsely or tavern the shock of the merith a street so solemn, but opposed the place of the cavern. They wrote the story in a column, and on the great church window painted the same, and made the world acquainted how their children were stolen away. And there it stands to this very day. And I must not omit to say that the Transylvanian, there's a tribe of alien people that ascribe the outlandish ways and dress on which their neighbors lay such stress to their fathers and mothers, having risen out of the same seditions prison into which they were trepanned long time ago in the mighty band, out of Hamelin town in Brunswick land. But how or why, they don't understand. So Willie let you and me be whispers of scorns out of with all man, especially pipers. And whether the pipe us free from rats, from mice, if we've promised them agant, let us know our promise. Alright, there he is on his crunches. He has a lame foot, so it doesn't work well. His poor foot, right? Everyone wants a body that works well. You want to take good care of your body no matter what. Alright? You want to be gentle with your body. You only get one body in this life that we live over so many years, right? So we want to drink lots of water, eat lots of fruits and vegetables. We want to take good care of our bodies and ourselves. We want to love on ourselves by eating good foods. And, give yourself a hug. Give yourself a hug. Tell yourself that you love yourself. Go through this life and be okay with it, because it's never going to be what you expect or what you really wanted, but you could still be content in what you're doing. Let's do We Sit and Watch the Rain as it falls from the sky, and we are glad to be inside where it is warm and dry. Oh yes, I do love the rain. It keeps the earth so clean and helps the pretty flowers grow. from the mountains to the streams. Karina, baby, I love you and I miss you, and I hope that you know how truly loved you really are. From the moment that you're born, from the moment that you're conceived, from the moment that someone has an idea to have a baby, that baby is truly loved. You're truly loved, honey. I love you so much and I miss you. I hope you know how loved you are.